The artist statement. For so many of us, just hearing those two words can make you want to run for the hills. But what if writing one wasn't a chore? What if it was actually a powerful way to connect with people? Well, today we're going to break down exactly how to do that, how to write a statement that really, truly connects. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about why this is so hard in the first place. Then we'll get super clear on what a statement is and, just as importantly, what it isn't. After that, I'm going to give you a simple 3-step blueprint. We'll walk through 6 common traps to avoid, talk about tailoring your voice, and finally, we'll totally reframe how you think about this thing for good. So let's be real for a second. Why is this so difficult? You're an artist. Your language is visual. So being asked to suddenly jam all of that nuance and feeling into words can feel, well, it can feel awkward and unnatural. It's a super common struggle, so if you feel that way, you are definitely not alone.
And this quote right here, it gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? The idea that my work speaks for itself. And you know what? That's a totally valid point. Your art does speak for itself, and everyone's going to bring their own experiences to it. But the statement isn't there to tell people what to think.
Here's a better way to think about it. An artist statement is like a great wedding toast. It doesn't replace the wedding, that's your art, but a well-thought-out toast can give you context, it can deepen your understanding, and it invites everyone to connect with the moment on a much more meaningful level. It adds to the experience, it doesn't try to control it.
Okay, so let's set the record straight. Before we dive into writing one of these things, we have to be crystal clear on what it's supposed to do, and maybe more importantly, what it's not.
At its core, an artist statement is basically a guide. It's written by you, in your voice, to give your audience a way into your work. It's all about answering the why. Why did you choose these materials? Why this subject matter? It's the bridge between what you intended to create and what the viewer experiences.
And this brings us to one of the biggest mix-ups out there, the difference between an artist statement and an artist bio. They are not the same thing. Your statement is personal, it's first person, I explore themes of, and it's all about your creative vision. Your bio, on the other hand, is factual, it's third person, she has exhibited at, and it's basically your CV in paragraph form. 2 totally different tools for 2 totally different jobs.
All right, with that sorted, we can actually start writing. And don't worry, we are not just going to stare at a blinking cursor on a blank page. Instead, we're going to use a super simple, totally manageable 3-step blueprint. Brainstorm, draft, and refine.
See? It's not that scary. Brainstorming is all about getting your ideas out. No judgment allowed. Drafting is where you start to give those ideas some shape. And refining is where you polish it all up until it really shines. It's a process, not some act of magic.
Okay, let's talk brainstorming. The goal here is just to make a mess and generate a bunch of raw material. Try setting a timer for 15 minutes and just write whatever comes to mind without stopping to edit. Or, here's a great one. Record yourself on your phone just talking about your work as if you were describing it to a friend. You'll be amazed at the natural language that comes out. You can also just make lists of words, or ask yourself one big question to get the ball rolling.
So once you have all that raw material, it's time to draft. And we're going to use this simple little recipe, just 3 parts. Paragraph 1 is your thesis, what you make, why you make it, and how you make it. Keep it short and sweet. Paragraph 2 gets into the details, your process, your materials, your influences, maybe a specific example, and then paragraph 3 just wraps it all up. This structure turns a really daunting task into something that feels more like filling in the blank. Okay, you've got the blueprint, you're ready to start building, but even the best builders can fall into a few common traps. So let's talk about the pitfalls that can really weaken an otherwise great artist statement. Honestly, knowing what not to do is half the battle.
Trap number 1, the cliché opening. We've all read it 1,000 times. I've been an artist from a young age. And while that might be true, it doesn't really tell me anything specific about you. Instead of that generic line, find a unique detail. So instead of the weak version, the stronger one grounds us in a real story. As the granddaughter of a painter, see? That specificity immediately pulls you in.
Which leads us right into trap number 2, vague generalities. Saying my work is about contrast is a start, but it's not enough. You have to back it up with evidence. Contrast of what? How? The strong example on the right doesn't just state the theme, it shows you exactly how that theme comes to life in the actual artwork. It paints a picture with words.
Oh boy. And then there's this monster, art speak. This quote is a parody, but let's be honest, it's not that far off from some real statements out there. It sounds so academic and important, but what does it actually mean? Yeah, exactly. The goal here is clarity, not confusion.
Please, avoid the jargon. Write for a smart person who just might not know your specific world.
And here are a few more quick traps to sidestep. First, unrelated personal info. If your love for gardening doesn't directly influence your sculpture, leave it out. Next, don't forget to state what you actually make before you explain why you make it. Also, watch out for repeating adjectives over and over. A thesaurus is your best friend. And finally, this is not a sales pitch. Avoid empty marketing words and just let your passion for the work shine through.
Okay, so you've drafted your statement, and you've dodged all the major traps. Now it's time to refine it, and a huge part of that is tailoring your voice for who you're actually talking to. A one-size-fits-all statement is just a missed opportunity.
You really have to think about the context. Who is reading this? If it's for a grant, you'll want to focus on your future plans and how that money will help you grow. For collectors and galleries, you'll want to highlight your unique vision and process. And for your website or social media, the most important thing is clear, accessible, and engaging language. It's the same core ideas, just with a different emphasis.
And what about perspective? First person or third person? This is a really common question. The standard artist statement should almost always be in the first person, using I. It creates that direct, personal connection we're after. Third person, she or he, that's really for your bio or maybe a super formal academic application. For your statement, your authentic I is the way to go.
We've covered a ton of ground, so what is the single most important idea to take away from all of this? I think it comes down to totally reframing your relationship with the artist statement itself. This right here is the biggest takeaway. Your artist statement is not a permanent tattoo. It is a living, breathing document. It is meant to grow and change right alongside your art. And that should be a huge relief. It takes all the pressure off. You're not writing something for all time. You're just capturing where your work is at, right now.
Which brings us to our final thought. If you're wondering where to even begin with all this, start right here with this one simple question. Forget about paragraphs and word counts for a minute. Just ask yourself, what is the core question that my work is asking? Start there, and I promise you will find your voice. Thanks for watching.